Well, good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you to Brockton City Hall. Today is truly a historic day in the history of the City of Champions. I want to first of all thank the county, Plymouth County, for working with us. When I became mayor, again, it was 6 weeks before the pandemic. The county stepped up. I want to thank the chairman of the County Commissioners, Valanzola. I want to thank Greg Hanley and Sandra Wright, the other two chairs. I want to thank Treasurer Tom O'Brien. I want to thank Matt Hanley on behalf of the Treasurer today. The CARES Act money saved lives in the City of Brockton, and it was administered. It was federal money that was administered through Plymouth County, and Brockton and the residents and the business owners greatly benefited by that. Then, through the efforts of federal delegation, President Biden, the American Rescue Plan, the ARPA money, came down as well. And just for everybody here, there was two different tranches of the ARPA money. We had an event here with Congressman Stephen Lynch. I want to thank Kiara, who was here on behalf of Congressman Lynch. But the congressman came here, and Brockton benefited. Yeah, we'll give a round of applause. Brockton benefited greatly through the efforts of Congressman Stephen Lynch and, of course, U.S. Congressman Ed Markey and the senior Senator Ed Markey and the senior Senator Elizabeth Warren. And $34 million direct to the City of Brockton came in through the American Rescue. The county, to their unbelievable efforts, were able to get an additional separate tranche directly to the county to administer to the municipalities throughout the county. And the City of Brockton, being the only city in Plymouth County, has benefited greatly. I want to give a shout out. I want to thank State Representative Jerry Cassidy, State Representative Michelle Dubois, State Representative Rita Mendez, and Senator Mike Brady, who you'll hear from in a little while, because we've had true advocates at Beacon Hill working with us. When I became mayor, we had Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito, and now with the Healy Driscoll administration, the team from Brockton representing us each and every day at Beacon Hill has been phenomenal. But also, just as phenomenal is the team in the county working to help the City of Brockton. So today is a culmination of a lot of hard work. I want to thank, and you'll hear from him in a little bit, the CFO for the City of Brockton, Troy Clarkson, and his team. Because when the ARPA money was coming in, first of all, we wanted to make sure that it was spent wisely. And I suggested that it be spent on legacy projects. And we have seen that the Mary Cruz Kennedy Senior Center has been a true benefit from the ARPA money, 5,000 square foot addition to help our seniors. The War Memorial on West Elm Street, we just had a wonderful event there for Purple Heart recipients. That has been a great renovation, millions of dollars again from ARPA to help our veterans. And then we've also taken this building under our wing. And this is a building that is so special. It is a building that is envied by many mayors throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and beyond. It's a special building, but it needed a little bit of a touch-up, a little reimagination, repurposing. But it was expensive. And today is a culmination of a lot of efforts with the city, collaborating with the county, collaborating with the state delegation, collaborating with our federal delegation to make sure that every penny that we are entitled to we get. So if you add the two together, we're recipients of $52 million of federal relief for the City of Brockton. That is a phenomenal amount. We talk about projects, though. We have to talk about the people that are working on the projects. And there's a guy here that I have to give a shout out, Mike Morris, the Chief Procurement Officer for the City of Brockton. I see Representative Michelle Dubois joining us. Thank you very much, Representative. With procurement, again, we have to abide by procurement laws, and Mike has been charged to work on all the projects. The building we're in right now, again, we are having the HVAC system replaced, the roof replaced. Right above us right here is a drop ceiling from a fire that happened decades ago in the City of Brockton. But if you pull that drop ceiling, you're going to see the original frescoes that were here when this was built. And even though there's a steel beam running across it, we are going to be able to showcase a portion of the original frescoes. We're going to self-enclose the beams with wood that matches, and this is going to be a gem again for decades to come, for generations to come, because of Plymouth County. When we talk about, look at that amount, $10.7 million. that money is used strictly on this building. So the scaffolding and the hard work of the contractor Folan and everybody working together, for about a year from now, we'll be doing a ribbon cutting. And I want to thank everybody that works in this building. I want to thank the city clerk, Tim Cruz. I'm looking at Marty Brofer, the treasurer collector, John O'Donnell, the assessor. I'm looking at Chief Brenda Perez, who is the chief of police, Irene, who is working as the acting auditor for the City of Brockton. I'm looking at Aaron and Jane, our program managers for grants that have really reaped millions of dollars. Rob May, the city planner, Jim Plouffe, the building commissioner. Everybody in this room right now has worked together. This is our home, right? We're here each and every day. I want to thank DA Cruz and men here on behalf of Plymouth County DA Tim Cruz. We are very, very fortunate as a city to be located in Plymouth County. We have dedicated men and women that are advocating for all the municipalities, but specifically the City of Brockton. So today, again, is a historic day. When we look at a check that size, I told Troy this morning, we're not going to Foxwoods to put it on red to try to double it. We're not going to do that. We are going to actually put that in the bank. We have Amoresco, Dan Smith on behalf of Amoresco is here. We will be doing a ribbon cutting, like I said, next year. And at that time, we'll all be coming together again. We will invite our federal delegation. We'll invite the county, the state reps, the senator. We will have a new state rep because Rep. Cassidy is retiring, and we want to thank Jerry Cassidy for everything he's done. But I have to give a shout out to my office. I want to give a shout out to Chief of Staff Sidney Merrow, everybody in my office that works each and every day to better the City of Brockton, Courtney and Jasmine and Celia and John and Alicia and Kevin and Joe and Stephanie. Everybody that works together to better the City of Brockton, and Suzanne McCormick will be taking a picture and getting rid of my double chin in just a little bit. But today is a day to thank the county, and I am proud to ask Jared Valanzola, the chair of the County Commissioners, to please join me at the podium.
Well, thank you, Mayor Sullivan. It's always you're always a hard act to follow. I really appreciate it. Really a privilege to be here this afternoon and to present this grant award. As I was talking with the Special Assistant of the Treasurer, this is the largest check that we have written out of either program, whether it be CARES or whether it be ARPA. And to go down a brief memory lane, as some may recall, when Plymouth County was awarded that $90 million in CARES Act funding, there were quite a few communities and the administration, the prior administration, that expressed some deep consternation at the idea of Plymouth County performing the duty of distributing those funds. The county didn't have the bandwidth, the county didn't have the expertise, the county did not understand how to do it. In the final analysis of the CARES Act funding, $90 million, of the $90 million, $87 million was distributed to the member communities in Plymouth County. We administer those funds at less than 1%. That is the lowest amount nationally in the whole country. With the remaining funds, we were able to take care of the nonprofit hospitals, the folks who really were on the front lines. And the mayor and Rep. Dubois, I know, will recall being at Signature Healthcare to present them with $1 million check. We gave them $1 million, Beth Israel, Plymouth, and Toby and Wareham. We took care of those communities. In the final analysis of the CARES Act, the City of Brockton received the second most CARES money out of any community in the Commonwealth, second only to the City of Boston. And had the county not administered CARES, where would those funds have gone? Unfortunately, they would have been returned to the federal government because the Commonwealth themselves, the prior administration, was unable to spend all of those funds. So we were proud of that accomplishment with the CARES Act, and we pivoted to ARPA. I am proud to report still today, we are currently trending at 1% administration of ARPA. The national average is 7 to 10%. And that again has meant more money for the City of Brockton. It will continue to mean more money for the City of Brockton. It will mean more money for Plymouth County. For me as a commissioner, and on behalf of my colleagues, Commissioner Wright and Commissioner Hanley, who I know send their regrets they can't be here, as well as Treasurer O'Brien, certainly the partnership that we've been able to have with the City of Brockton has been a special one. To be able to drive by this building, and I used to work in Brockton, so I used to spend a lot of time looking at this building across the street. This is, with all due respect to the other 26 city and town halls in the county, this is the gem of city halls, town halls in Plymouth County. It's a beautiful building with the paintings and the architecture. I know I speak for myself, but I know I can speak for my colleagues when I talk about just how proud we feel to be able to have contributed, I know, a smallish part to the overall project of making this building a great place to continue to work for the residents and, again, for the employees who have to come in here every day. There were a lot of issues that the pandemic exposed, certainly air quality and the cleaning of air and infrastructure matters. So to be able to address that with these funds has always been the best use of these monies. I want to extend also our gratefulness for the partnership that we do have with the legislature as well. I know Senator Brady and Rep. Dubois are here, as well as Rep. Mendez and Rep. Cassidy, and the City Council. I see Councilor Lally, and I'm sorry if I'm missing a few others, but we've been grateful for this partnership. One of the things that I enjoy is I got involved for public service, and to be able to collaborate and work with city leaders and town leaders across the county, but specifically Brockton, to execute projects and to execute the services that people elect us to do. We share the same constituents, we work for the same people, and we're here to take care of the issues that matter to them. So again, it is a privilege to be here. I do love the check. I've been telling the joke. A few folks have noted, I had a friend of mine who noted it was dry erase. Again, the county is frugal. We keep that 1% administration cost for a reason. We're not printing different checks every time. But somebody noted in the middle of the check, there's a little crease now. It is well traveled across the county. We were just recounting, we've made it to 25 of 27 towns, and the last 2 towns have their applications in, so they'll be getting their money as well. But one particularly windy night in Hull, that check found its way out of my hand and blowing down Nantasket Ave. So thankfully nobody saw me, and I probably shouldn't even tell the story, but I run down the street and I step on it and I kind of bent it a little bit, but that is the story. And of course, you know, that check has found its way to this city many times, and I'm grateful for that. On top of, obviously, this project, Champions, Father Bill's, we've just been so grateful to be able to take care of so many important issues that face this city with that very well-traveled check. And we look forward to coming back. I know Brockton sells a little bit. As we've been telling folks, one of the benefits, I think, of working with us is we've asked the communities to communicate which funds they will be using and funds that they won't be using. And as I've said, we commit at the county to not sending a single dime back to Washington, D.C. So if we have $1 left or $1 million left or 50 million left, we want to have 50 million, right? I'd rather see it in Brockton than back in Washington, D.C. So that's our commitment, whether it's $1 or $1,000, whatever it is, it will find its way back to this city and back to the people of Plymouth County. So again, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to everybody here today. Thank you.
Some of you may not know that the chairman is truly an expert when you talk about the Beatles. And there was a song, he's actually met Paul McCartney and he's seen Ringo, and there's an old song, right, by the Beatles, Love Me Do. I'm going to change it a little bit. Love this dough. Okay? Love this dough. This time,
You never give me your money.
no, at this time, I'm going to have the special assistant for the treasurer, Tom O'Brien, Matt Hanley, to the podium just to say a few words on behalf of the treasurer. Matt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be very brief. On behalf of the Plymouth County Treasurer, Tom O'Brien, we're very grateful for as the chairman said, the partnership that exists between the mayor's office, of course, folks at the state level and the federal level. So I'm very honored to be here to represent Tom O'Brien. Thank you.
Thank you. This time I'm going to ask Senator Michael Brady to the podium, followed by Rep. Dubois, Michelle Dubois. Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and this is truly a partnership. No one does this job alone. You know, our federal delegation has been awesome for our district, and especially the City of Brockton, which is the only city in Plymouth County. I want to thank our county commissioners. They've been very helpful to us in the City of Brockton and all over Plymouth County. When the CARES Act money went through, as the chairman mentioned, the former administration at the State House, the former governor, wanted to control the funding, not let the county control it. And I supported Plymouth County receiving the funding because they expeditiously got the funding distributed to all the cities, the city and the towns in Plymouth County a lot more rapidly and more efficiently than other counties did. And as was mentioned, some of that money went back. So they did a great job. And again, I'm thankful to all the partners here at City Hall and in our county government, our state government, our federal government, and you, Mr. Mayor, as well, because none of us does it alone, and we have a great team working together. And it doesn't matter if the check has a crease, as long as the dollar amount's right. That's the most important thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here at the podium with all of you, and what a great use of this ARPA money for our environment, for the staff's ability to breathe clean air and have air conditioning and heat and all the clean things. The whole purpose of ARPA was such a danger with COVID, us encapsulating our buildings so they couldn't open. Another baby boomer gift, I guess, that we're decommissioning through this ARPA money, getting good air conditioning and ARPA and breathing clean air as we all deserve. Thank you so much.
On behalf of the City Council, I'd love to have our Ward 6 Councilor Jack Lally to the podium. Councilor.
The secret reason that I've been called up is because I'm the one that's here. But I'll take it. Mr. Mayor, there's also a Beatles song about money not being able to buy love, so I didn't know which one you were going for. No, we're incredibly grateful to the county for the way they stuck to their guns. It was really, I think, national news that they held on so strongly, even when some of their counterparts in other counties, gave money back. So that's really a testament to the caliber of the officials that we have in the county, and we're very grateful for them. And I can honestly say I don't believe this drop ceiling has been removed in my lifetime. So I very much look forward to being able to take another step to restoring the hall and leaving it as a great sort of center of pride for the city. So thank you again to the county. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I've mentioned the congressman, and I've said this many times, Steve Lynch just as easily could have been born in Brockton as he was in Southie, right? He gets it. He's truly an advocate. He couldn't make it today, but we have a Brocktonian that works for him. If you'd love to come to the podium and just say a few words on behalf of the congressman. Absolutely, my pleasure.
I'm Kiana Darkwa. I work for Congressman Lynch, and I know he sends his regrets, but if there is something in Brockton, he absolutely wants to make sure that there is a presence from our office. I know that, as the mayor said, I'm a Brocktonian, so I'm very excited to see the outcome in the next year, and I'm sure the congressman will be right here with me. So testament to your work ethic and your team and you all as well. I'm sure we follow you around quite a lot, which is a great thing. So thank you all for having us, and we'll see you in a year.
Thank you, Kiana. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So I'm going to ask the CFO of the City of Brockton, Troy Clarkson, to the podium. But before I do, I want to give a shout out to a man that's not here today. But Dan Pallotta is the ARPA manager. He's actually a former elected official. He was a county commissioner a while back, but he's an expert when it comes to construction projects. And we put an RFP out again. Mike Morris was great in working with Troy, and the thought was to try to put it out and get an expert. And actually, he was the only one applied. But he is on target for every project, including the parks that we're doing. There's 7 wards in the City of Brockton. We're doing at least 1 park in every ward with ARPA money. And Dan couldn't be here today. He lives pretty far away in Rowe, Massachusetts, which you can't find it on a map, but it's way up near the Berkshires. But he is under budget. And I'll say that again, he is under budget on projects, which is phenomenal in this day and age when you talk about construction projects after the pandemic. But on behalf of the city, I want to thank Dan Pallotta, and there's another gentleman that is working to help this building, because when you think about construction in City Hall, number one, this is the people's building, right? It's not just the people that work here, it's the people that come in every day looking for services from the public servants that work here. And there's 3 floors. And we have to actually move departments out of this building. And it's been really a work in progress. But every department head has stepped up, and every employee has worked with us. The unions have worked with us. But Jerry Chipman's another guy I want to give a shout out, because Jerry is coordinating this building each and every day. So again, Dan and Jerry couldn't be here, but we thank them both. At this time, he might sing because he is a talented musician with his voice, but Troy Clarkson is the CFO for the City of Brockton. Troy.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, we've heard some themes from the speakers today, and there are words that we often hear at public presentations, words like partnership, teamwork, and game changer. But here today, those aren't just buzzwords. Those are actual representations of how the city has allocated and invested its money from ARPA. The county has been a true partner, not only in improving lives, but in saving lives in a very real way. Our partnership with the county and the investments that we were able to make during the height of COVID saved the lives of Brocktonians. There's nothing more important than that. And as we transitioned from CARES Act to ARPA, we were able to use some of that money to lift up the organizations who were lifting up citizens and invest $2 million in local nonprofits that were doing the work with the community every day. And this investment is just a continuation of that. And so the people that you've heard speak are all very talented and adept at speaking from a lectern like this, but their true value and their true talent is when the cameras are off and the microphones are off and we're in a room with our sleeves rolled up trying to find ways to benefit the lives of the people of Brockton. And that's been the real partnership with the people you've heard speak today. And projects like this are an outward representation of that. The mayor decided when the ARPA money became available, both the federal allocation and the allocation from the county, that we wanted to invest it in ways that would benefit not just the people of Brockton today, but generations. And so 30 or 40 years or 50 years from now, when people walk through this building and breathe healthy, fresh air, that's a game changer. Or when the children or grandchildren of the kids who enjoyed the Cosgrove pool this summer swim a generation from now, you know, that's a game changer. Or when they enjoy those same parks. And so the work that we've all done together, although it's a buzzword, has truly been a game changer for the people of Brockton. And it's because of the partnership and the friendship and the collaboration amongst the people in this room, including our local elected officials. The mayor and I appeared before the city council at the very beginning of this and devised a way to allocate the funds, but with the input of the city council and in a very public way, so that the public had the opportunity to not only be informed, but to be engaged. So this has been a tremendous process. And I think really, and I mean this sincerely, what Plymouth County has done is an example, not just for the rest of the Commonwealth, but for the rest of the nation, and how regional governments can work together with the communities they serve to benefit the people they serve. So this project, and I think, I heard actually that the commissioner on the radio this morning on my drive in, and he was talking about this building in this particular room. And I concur that it is, I've been in a lot of town halls and city halls, both as a customer and as a professional, and this is by far the prettiest, the most stately, the most beautiful city or town hall in the Commonwealth. And so we're getting to do some work that will preserve it for generations to come. And so I'm very proud to have been part of this team. The mayor did mention many of the officials that are here, but I wanted to mention for a second time 2 particular members of the finance team, the budget director, Elvira Lopes, and our auditor, Irene Giannopoulos. I get the easy part, right? I get to take the real check that I have on the bench over there. And Dan, just make sure you keep your eye on it.
Keep an eye on it, Chief. Keep an eye on it.
But I get to just hand it off to other people who then deposit it and make sure the funds are spent responsibly. And that sort of back office stuff that you don't hear a lot about is critically important. And our partnership with Amoresco, I think I need to mention as well, because they have been not only on this project, but others throughout the city during the several years that we've had a contract with Amoresco. You know, when the mayor and I originally talked to Dan about joining in on this project, they didn't hesitate. And it's been a complex, imagine this building that was built, you know, more than 150 years ago that had no duct work or no fresh air, trying to find a way to retrofit this edifice to HVAC in 2024. No simple project, but Amoresco never hesitated. They dove right in. and here we are. And I will echo one more thing that the mayor said, because the county, Jared talked to you about ways in which the county was able to save those administrative costs so they could invest the money in the communities. What we did here by hiring a couple of employees, Dan Pilata and Jerry Chipman, to oversee the projects, saved the city of Brockton over $1 million, because by law, we would have had to have contracted owners, project managers for most, if not all, of those projects. But by having people on staff who were trained professionals to oversee that, we could take that savings and then invest it in the projects that are game changers in the lives of Brocktonians. So I think this has been a great example of collaboration. I'm personally very grateful for the partnership with the county and for the support of our legislative delegation and our city council, and of course, my ability to work daily with this great mayor to move this city forward. Thank you.
So before we conclude, I want to thank the City Council President Moises Rodriguez, Councilor at Large. We have Councilor at Large Wynn Falwell. We have Councilor at Large David Texera, Councilor at Large Jean Bradley Derencourt. And then we have Tom Minicello from the ward. We have Phil Griffin from the ward, Maria Tavares from the ward, Jeff Thompson from the ward, Susan Nicastro from the ward. Of course, Councilor Lally was here as well. Who did I miss, Councilor? Oh, Councilor Azak, Shirley Azak from Ward 7. But then on the county, again, I want to thank Clerk Robert Creighton. I want to thank Registrar John Buckley, DA Tim Cruz, as we said, Registrar Matt McDonough, and again, Treasurer Tom O'Brien working diligently with the chair, and we have 3 really wonderful county commissioners that fight for the City of Champions. So I am so proud to be here today. We are better together. We will continue to showcase the City of Champions. And this dollar amount today is greatly appreciated. But what Troy just said, this is a generational project. So, you know, when I'm over at Calvary Cemetery, I'll still be in Brockton, right? But there's going to be boys and girls coming here looking at this beautiful artwork and really reaping the benefits of this money and all the other money that we've gotten from our federal delegation. So we are better together. God bless the City of Champions, the Commonwealth, and our United States of America. Thank you, everybody.